Dear members of the European Parliament, dear ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for having us here. The first question would be, we heard something about massive open online courses, MOOCs. Who of you already took a MOOC? Okay, not bad, half of you. And who finished it successfully? Okay, great. So we are talking about the massive open online courses, and on the big picture I would say on the digitalization of teaching and our universities, our daily lives. So in the history perhaps you heard a little bit about the distance teaching and distance learning, and it started with the coming up of TV in the 1930s, and later on there were the broadcast companies, something like BBC, who tried it on the radio, and the vision was that you can be anywhere in the world and you could learn something. For sure, that's correct, you can learn something, but always there is what the feedback and return channel missing. And that's a new thing about the digitalization now. We have something like very powerful devices all in our pockets. We have the smartphones, we have nearly internet everywhere, we have broadband access, and with different techniques and platforms we have now the possibilities to learn something online, to take courses and get a direct feedback by learning at the chance of the MOOC, for example. So the vision is everyone can be everywhere, somewhere, and learn something. And from our point of view at the Technical University of Munich, it's not a substitute, it's something like an addition. It's a new channel. We can reach our student on the one hand, on the other hand we can reach people all over the world for example marketing issues, that we can convince them to come to Germany, to Munich, and study, for example, for master degrees at Technical University of Munich. We worked on this topic quite a long time. We started 3 to 4 years ago with the Eurotech University Alliance, and there our friends from EPFL, Oliver Küttel, will say something later on, and there's a DTU and the TU Eindhoven with us in the team, and so we're happy we're talking on this topic today. So what's coming up? So coming up are, on the one hand, that you get the teaching and the lecturing on smaller pieces. So you have something like microcrediting. You have normally, if you're in a university, you have teaching courses of about 14 weeks. Within MOOCs, they're at the moment at 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or sometimes even shorter. You have very short videos. So normally a video within a MOOC is about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you have something like tests, and you have something like direct feedback from the system, and that's a new part we want to have more information on, and we get a lot of information of it. So we have something like every click of a learner is saved, is stored within the system, so we have really clickstream analysis, how the learning path flow and how the learning evolves within the student or the people who take the MOOC. Now, this is a topic we are working on too. It's something like the big data thing, and it's a nice, I think, combination. On the one hand, as we say, we are trying new technologies within the teaching, and on the other hand, we can try new algorithms to really analyze the data of our learners, make some peer testing, make some real enhancement of the study material on the one hand, and get feedback to our teachers, lecturers, and to the students on the other hand, and get a higher quality. So there are other topics around, something like digital badges. So what's the value, what do you get out of a course of a MOOC you took online, and one of the most challenge is, for example, the authentication of people. How do you know who's sitting on the other side of the screen? And so we're working on new accreditation types, something like digital badges, that you have something like digital in the world and not a study degree. But on the other hand, we're working on combining the online thing with the offline, for example, with the European identity, the EID. So that's something like we're really focused in Europe, because we have, on the one hand, we have the European credit transfer system for the universities for the study courses, the ECTS, and on the other hand, we have lots of infrastructure we could really foster and work on to get knowledge of our students and give them online study degrees, for example. And from my point of view, there are for sure lots of different other topics we could stress. For example, data protection. This is within Europe a big topic, and we have to work on the laws, because within international platforms there are different people coping with, and people from all over the world. And so if there are only US-based platforms, it's somehow a little bit hard to apply European laws on them. So we have to talk about how to foster these issues within our European region. Perhaps one last point. we did one MOOC, and the one MOOC, for example, as an example, was a study course with 10 students. Online it had now 50,000. It was amazing. And there was amazing energy within, because lots of people want to cooperate with us now on the scientific field on the one hand. On the other hand, lots of students that came to TUM to took further courses of TU München and continue or do their studies with TUM. So I think it's really great. You have a great bandwidth, you have a great coverage within these topics, but we should work on the challenges, something like authentication, something like accreditation, and get the setting right in Europe to do massive